Well, hi, everybody. I'm Lee Bodette, and we welcome you to another Test Drive podcast. And I'm the host of Test Drive on the YouTube channel that you can check out. We certainly do appreciate that. Been in radio as a radio broadcaster for over 40 years, and of course, a car enthusiast my entire life. So today, we have with us Steve Grenier from the Old Derelicts Car Show. And we're going to get into as to what this show is all about. But first of all, I'd like to introduce Steve. And Steve, tell us about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me. We were hoping to get more of the guys from the car club here, but everybody's kind of tied up. I'm an old hippie, retired, love cars, love doing the car shows, going to car shows all summer long. We go every weekend practically. Got a 69 Chevelle SS. The car club, the guys are amazing. 4 of us in the car club, and that's all there's ever going to be, just 4 guys. And I'll give you, for instance, how these guys are. Last summer, I broke down on the street here in St. Albans. I made one phone call. 15 minutes, I had 3 guys, 3 pickup trucks, and a trailer. It was like the cavalry showed up, you know.
Take care of it.
But it's like that with all of us. Somebody needs a hand, they're right there to help. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be your car, you know. Just a great bunch of guys. We just, like I say, we enjoy doing this car show thing. Really great cause this year. Camp Tecumseh. Right. All proceeds go to Camp Tecumseh. We have some raffles that we're putting on also. There's a local gun shop in Swanton.
We're talking Vermont.
Yep, Swanton, Vermont. Lost Nation Guns and Ammo. They're doing a raffle for us. Gun shop in Irisburg, Vermont. That's Green Mountain Sporting Goods. They're also doing a raffle. All proceeds going to Camp Tecumseh.
And Camp Tecumseh is a camp for children with cancer.
Yes. And
they get to stay for an entire week.
Yeah.
Enjoying the outdoor life, all sorts of activities. I've visited there a few times. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience for the kids.
Yeah, amazing people that run that.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing people. It takes a special breed of person to do that kind of work.
So, Steve, before we get into the Old Derelicts Car Show, I'm going to ask you about that name, too, by the way.
Yep.
Tell us about your 69 Chevelle. You said you're always a Mopar guy.
Yeah, I was. My whole life. This one came along. My cousin had it for sale. The car was his father's before that. So it's been in the family 45, 46 years. He just decided he wanted to get rid of it. It's a butternut car, which is kind of rare for 1969. I did a bunch of work to it. It was a bucket seat car. I was a bench seat car, turned it into a bucket seat car. I have the original engine, the numbers matching engine, and I took it out, put it on engine stand. I put another engine in it. It's been a blast. I go to my friend's house and they ask me if I fell down and bumped my head because I was always a Mopar guy. This is my first GM muscle car. So, I really enjoy it. It's just such a fun car.
I'm also the host of Sport Car USA and kind of the front person for Sport Car USA. We specialize in modern muscle cars, I should say, plural. And when you rolled up this morning, everybody just had to go out and take a look at that 69 Chevelle.
Yeah. There was several of the guys here asked me if I drove it here to trade it in. And I being the guy I am, I told them, you don't have enough cars to trade for me.
Yeah. So do you still love Mopar? Or you?
Oh, yeah. I love all muscle cars. Muscle cars are changing so much with the new technology. And the older ones, the younger folks don't seem to care so much about the muscle cars like mine. They're going more to I guess you call them tuner cars. Mm-hmm. It's kind of dying down. We've had people ask us why we do this car show. If we don't keep this thing going, this thing's going to die eventually. Right. You know, and we have such a passion for cars that, you know, we'll do everything we can. It's unusual to me that the younger generation really doesn't seem to be caring about, you know, 68, 69, 57, the older cars.
Yeah, and even further back, we had a podcast a while back that we discussed like Model A cars. That
oh, yeah.
Nobody wants these Model A cars. Unfortunately, the owners have passed away. They moved on. But none of the grandkids their kids, grandkids, they don't want the Model A's. So they're just sitting in barns.
Yeah, I have a cousin that does have one that he does drive. And it's nice to see that at the car shows.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So let's get into the Old Derelicts car show. First of all, I did go to the dictionary, and this is the definition. Actually, I've got two definitions for you, Steve.
Okay.
What a derelict is. The first definition of derelict is in very poor condition as a result of misuse and neglect. The second definition is a person without a home, job, or property. Which one of these fits the Old Derelicts car show? How'd you come up with that name?
Well, in the first place, I guess we still trying to decide whether us guys are the old derelicts or our cars the old derelicts. We really haven't determined that yet. I don't know. It was kind of a strange way that we met. Brian Kendrew has a Ford F-100 unibody truck. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's the one that has no gap between the box and the cab. They only made him for 3 years. He lives down at Hathaway Point, so I used to drive by there with my boat, going down with my boat to go fishing. Well, I see this truck, caught my eye. So a few days later, I jump into Chevelle, go down. He's out there. I want to know if this truck's for sale. So, Brian's no, not for sale. And that kind of hit it off, car guys.
Yeah.
Car guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd actually met Jim Lewis before that. Him and I hung out a little bit at car shows. Jim and I hit it off pretty well. And then we were in Swanton, I believe, and the three of us were together. And Jeff King was there, and he's got a little Austin Healey. And we kind of got talking with him, and the next thing you know, well, why don't we hang out? Why don't we go to car shows together?
Right.
And we were going out to breakfast and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? We should have a car club. I mean, it only has to be four of us. We don't have to have anybody else.
Right.
Brian is the one that always says, this should not work. We are four such different guys. This is no way this thing should work.
So to clarify, there are just four members of this car club.
That's it.
That's it. That's got to be the smallest car club in the country.
It is, but we always have, most of the time, we have 100% participation.
Okay. your numbers work out very well there, Steve. That's for sure.
Yeah, but, it's like I said, we just hit it off. We go to the car show together. We dump on each other to the whole car show. Make fun of each other's cars. It's just, we have a blast.
So was it your idea or the four of you saying, hey, this is how we're going to do it?
I guess I kind of started it.
Yeah.
Brought it up, and I don't know if it really seemed like a good idea or not. And then Brian kind of got on board, and then all of a sudden it was all of us. And, what are we going to call ourselves? And I was like, well, maybe the Geriatric Car Club. And we thought maybe that wasn't such a hot idea. And then I don't know if it was me or if it was Brian. Somebody came up with the Old Derelict, and I was like, you know what? That's the one. I think that one.
That fits your personality.
And like I said, we're not sure if it's us or the cars.
Right.
So we're just going to leave that out there for the public to decide.
Absolutely. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So we're with Steve Grenier. He's one of the founding members of the Old Derelicts Car Show in Vermont. Scott Nickerson is also with us from Sport Car USA. Scott, do you have some questions for Steve?
So what was the biggest thing that made you guys have the car show? I know you said that was like kind of keeping it alive, but...
Well, back, 5 years ago, I don't want to get into a lot of detail with this. There was a car show in St. Albans Bay, and there hadn't been one there in many years. So we went, and they had 14 cars total.
I think I was there.
Yeah.
I was number 14.
So we talked to the guy that was putting it on and about car shows and stuff, and he really wasn't quite sure, how to work the thing. And I mean, us guys, so many car shows, we offered to give him a hand.
Right.
And it just kind of started from there, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's basically how we got started with the car show thing. And, recently we parted ways with that show, and we've gone on to do this one on our own. This is at Georgia Beach, by the way, on June 10th.
We'll be there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be cool. The sponsors have been phenomenal. You guys, I've got a list of sponsors here that I can read off at some point if that's okay. But the sponsorship and the support we're getting for this just has been phenomenal, just over the top. You know, the minute you say Camp Tecumseh, I mean, a lot of people don't know what it is, but the people that do, they're reaching in their pocket.
Yeah, people listening to this podcast, just Google Camp Tecumseh. I can say it, Camp Tecumseh.
Yes.
CampTatuka, right? Camp Tecumseh.
T-A-K-U-M-T-A.
Yeah, see, I was close.
Yes, you were.
But just Google that, and it's just an amazing, amazing process that they go through to make these kids happy for at least 1 week of their life, going through cancer treatments, etc. So that's a really, really good thing. You said the car club is 4 years old.
Yeah, I think we're on our 5th year now.
Okay. What is this the first car show that you're putting on? Or is it the 4th or 5th one?
This is the 5th one.
Okay, so this is on your own.
We did 4 before this, and this one we moved away from that one.
Okay.
And we moved on to this one with the sponsor. We decided on these folks for the sponsor, or for the all the benefits go to them. We explored several different places where the money would do a lot of good, and it kind of all touched all our hearts when somebody brought up Camp Tecumseh. I say this all the time: these children did not deserve what happened to them. You know, if we can do something this simple and make their lives a little better for the time they have. It
absolutely.
It gets to me.
Definitely does.
Well, and you're not doing this show for the money, obviously.
Oh, no.
You're doing this for
everything. Every single thing goes to Camp Tecumseh.
And I would imagine you have quite a few volunteers to help you out?
Yes, we have. Without the volunteers, we couldn't do this. We have several volunteers out of our families that come and volunteer their time for the whole day. Without the volunteers, this would be a nightmare. And we also have some folks from Camp Tecumseh that are volunteering to help us this year. We have some great vendors coming in. Like I say, the sponsors deserve a lot of credit too.
It's on the Georgia Shore on June 10th.
Yep.
Georgia
Beach.
Georgia Beach.
Yep.
Okay.
Georgia Beach, right? If anybody's familiar with that down there, that's where the boat launch is.
And what time does it begin and end?
Registration starts at 7. The show will start at 11. We try to cut the registration off at 11 o'clock, but we always get a few stragglers, so we kind of try to make do, make them welcome.
Can they register ahead of time?
No.
Okay.
You have to register at the gate.
And
this is also for motorcycles, not just cars, and that's an unusual thing. Most car shows do not do motorcycles,
right?
But we do motorcycles.
And does it matter what type of car you have, what year of car you have? Everybody's welcome.
Absolutely. Everybody's welcome. And for the folks that don't have a car to come to the car show, you do not have to have a car. Please come, walk around, look at everybody's vehicle.
It's going to be a big
vendors.
turnout.
Yeah, there's vendors there. There's food vendors there. We're going to have a donation jug. If you got 50 cents in your pocket and you want to throw it in the jug, every single penny means a lot here.
Well, at Sport Car USA, we specialize in modern muscle cars, but when you think about it, these modern muscle cars, if you will, they had to come from somewhere.
Right.
There's a beginning.
Right.
Just like your 69 Chevelle.
Sure.
So what kind of vehicles are you expecting and anticipating at this big show?
Well, we see such a large difference in vehicles. We'll see. Sometimes we have, you were talking about Model A's, we'll have a Model A or two. We have cars from the 20s and 30s, all the way up to brand new vehicles, pickup trucks, tuner cars, sports cars. I think, and don't quote me on it, I think I have 2 Vipers coming this year
All right.
from Canada. I'm working on that one really hard.
Yeah.
But we do. It's such a diverse amount of cars that it's amazing what you see. I mean, you walk over here and here's a Model A, and you walk over here, here's a 2022 Dodge Charger. I mean,
I saw like giant lifted Jeeps and
oh yeah,
it was all
Jeeps
and like you said, the motorcycles,
trucks, motorcycles, everything with wheels is welcome.
Yeah.
Come in.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring my radio flyer wagon.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Yep.
Okay.
You'll be in a class by yourself.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I'll probably win, right? Now, are there going to be awards?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Top 35. And there's going to be, I think, 5 on the motorcycle. There's going to be some of the car dealerships, I don't want to say it because I don't want to get it wrong, but some of the car dealerships are going to get their own trophy to pick, like the best Mopar,
Sure.
the best Ford, and I don't want to say something and be out of line here.
Well, you mentioned the Dodge Viper that may be coming. I actually said you might have 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to warn you, Steve, that don't open the hood unless you know what you're doing, because those Viper hoods are very tricky, let's just say.
Yeah.
You got to be at a certain angle.
Very finicky.
Yeah, very finicky, very finicky. So
Okay.
we have one here at Sport Car USA, and it took us 3 months to figure out how to open the hood. And we're experts.
Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you this, Steve. We're with Steve Grenier from the Old Derelicts Car Show that's coming up on June 10th in Georgia, the Georgia Beach, Georgia, Vermont. Wish list. Number 1, what vehicle that you can think of would be your vehicle of all time that you'd love to own?
Oh, wow. You had to do that.
I
didn't
had to
you?
do
Couldn't,
this.
You couldn't
Yes,
just
I had
leave
to
that
do
alone.
this.
Maybe you could do like a top 3.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to make it even harder, isn't it? Maybe not.
Maybe not. My first muscle car, per se, was a 1973 340 Duster. And I've always wanted another one because I just love the car. They're really hard to find because of the way the body was made. They rusted out.
Yeah.
They're really hard to find. And I'm going to say probably a 68 Roadrunner. Hemi Roadrunner would be really nice, but it's probably way out of the question. I don't know, a third pick, that's kind of tough.
Well, the 4 years you've done the show, is there a car, truck, vehicle that really stands out where you've looked at it and it's like, boy, I wish I was the owner of that vehicle? In the 4 years you've done these shows. Anything?
With the hundreds of vehicles.
We probably do that 10 times a show. There are that many nice cars.
I walked around last year and I was like, oh, that's definitely the coolest one here. And then I walked 10 feet like, never mind.
Yeah,
this one is.
That's it. You pick one out and then you go around the corner, like you say, and then there's something else that goes, wow, the thing just jumps out at you.
And have you ever been a judge at a show?
No, we do not.
That's smart.
Sport Car USA has been blessed with the opportunity of being judges. And I say blessed with parentheses because it's really tough, especially if they know that you're making the judgment on their car and that you don't pick their car or truck. You know, it gets kind of competitive in a fun way.
It does get competitive, yeah. That's why we have these little packets that everyone's going to get when they register their car.
Right.
And they have a place to vote.
Oh, cool.
So
like a people's
everyone
choice.
that comes in with a car gets a vote.
Nice.
And then we tally them up at the end, and the most votes, obviously, for the 35 will get a trophy.
Right. I remember I think we went to the car show in Swanton, Vermont last year, which you always end up seeing a lot of the same cars. And they gave us the opportunity to judge an award, and I got it, and I immediately handed it to Lee, and I was like, I don't want this decision.
Oh, no,
Pressure on me.
I don't want that.
And the other thing that we did too is the old derelicts. We each have, obviously, we have cars. We do not put them in the show. The very first year that we did a car show, we did that, and I happened to win, and I think Jim happened to win, and it seemed like it was a little. Some of the folks thought because we were putting it on that maybe it was
best to just avoid.
So we don't. So what ended up happening is someone created a trophy for just the 4 of us. So everybody on their voting sheet has our 4 cars, so they can vote for whoever they want to.
That's good, because then you have bragging rights.
Yeah, you're not out there in the competition and making it look fishy. But that's why I said we will not do a voting thing. That just I have been asked to judge at a couple of other car shows, and I turn it down.
It's tough.
I can't.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many choices.
Oh,
well, and
too many.
So many things that should win, but it's coming down to just your preference.
Yeah, it gets very competitive. It really does. It reminds me of being back in high school at times, where it's like, well, why did that guy win? Why did that guy win that trophy? I should have got that trophy. That kind of thing. But like I said, it's all in a fun way.
Yeah.
Fun way. Everybody's there to have.
And what we have to remember, this whole deal is for the kids.
There you go, right there.
It's for the kids.
There you go.
It's nice to win a trophy and all that stuff, but it's for the kids.
Absolutely.
This is the big deal.
So let's recap the old Derelicts Car Show, Steve. Give us the when, where, time, registration.
June 10th, Georgia Beach, Georgia, Vermont. There will be signs out on the roads, so you can get directions there. And you can also punch it into Google. And you can punch it into your GPS, whatever you have. Registration will start at 7. The show will start at 11. Like I say, we try to cut the registration off at 11, but there's a little leeway time there. We're going to try to get everyone out of there by around 3 o'clock, I believe. I think we're going to try to do the awards at 2:30. So that people aren't there for an eternity,
right?
Because we've been to car shows where you start at 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't get out of there till 6 o'clock at night, and
those are long days.
Yeah, it is a long day, especially if you drove an hour and a half to get there.
Well, there you go. The old Derelicts Car Show, 4 members strong. Steve Grenier, we wish you a lot of luck, and we pray for good weather on June 10th at Georgia Beach in Georgia, Vermont.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you having us for sure, and all the stuff you're doing for the show. Absolutely.
We're looking forward to it. Scott Nickerson from Sport Car USA, thank you as well. I want to thank everybody for listening today. Make sure you check out our test drive series on YouTube, and we'll see you next time on our Test Drive podcast. And remember, let's never forget the men and women serving this great country of ours. Goodbye, everybody.